Alright, so we're going to review perfect squares and square roots. So first thing we want to talk about is what does it mean to square a number? And all that means is to multiply it by itself. So what this looks like is 1 squared, the 2 means squared, is equal to 1 times 1, which is equal to 1. We can keep going. 2 squared is equal to 2 times itself, or 2 times 2, which is equal to 4. We can keep going. 3 squared is equal to 3 times 3. Oops, I messed up there. I gave the answer, but it's 3 times 3, which is equal to 9. And you can keep going. So what I want you to do after watching this video is fill in the rest. Do all the way up to 12. So fill in the rest. And yeah, so we'll move on to what is a perfect square. So we've kind of talked about it already. A perfect square is a number that can be expressed as a product of two equal integers. So it's a number that can be expressed as a product, which means multiplying two equal integers. So, for example, 1 is a perfect square because you can multiply 1 times 1, and they're both equal. So 4 is a perfect square because you can multiply it by 2 times 2, which is a product of two equal integers. And you got 9, which is 3 times 3, and 16, which is 4 times 4, and so on. So if you notice a pattern already, pretty much the numbers that we squared in the first example, those are all perfect squares. So 1, 4, 9, 16, and so on. You can fill in the rest. And lastly, what is a square root? A square root is a value that can be multiplied by itself to give the original value, or the square root, or the perfect square rather. So for example, we ask ourselves, what is the square root of 1? So we ask ourselves, what can we multiply by itself to get 1? We know that 1 times 1 equals 1. So 1 is the square root of 1. And 4, we ask ourselves, what can I multiply by itself to get 4? And if you look up here, 2 times 2 is equal to 4. So the square root of 4 is 2. Because 2 times 2 is equal to 4. I'll give you one more. Square root of 9 is equal to 3. Because 3 times 3 is equal to 9. So that's it. So as a summary, if we have example 3 here, 9 here, if we're going this way, we square it. And if we're going backwards, it's the square root. So hopefully that refreshes you on square roots and perfect squares and what it means to square a number.